There is something that hurts me so much that I wanted to talk about today. I know we all have rights to say what we want to say. In regards, it doesn't matter. I know we all have every right to believe in whoever we want to believe in, to believe the stories we want to believe in. But before we listen to stories and believe them, we have to make our own research. Before we listen to stories and believe them, we have to think with our brains. We have to look around. We have to put ourselves in these situations. We have to ask some questions to ourselves. I was hurt today when I was seated and washing, you know, I was watching over, a live, a live video of His Excellency Robert Chagulanyi trip to Kawempe. And I was very much glued on my phone, and then here comes a guy almost my age, who's my best friend. And then he's like, oh, oliwa nchukachuka, oliwa people power. Now oliwa people power. Nemugamba yeah, ndiwa people power. Nagamba anze siriwa people power. Nemubuuza naye ekigambo people power obitegeera oba tobitegeera? Oba omanyi luzungu bulungi nnyo. Ekigambo people power kitegeeza ki? N'asirika. Then he continued to tell me that Zenavaku people power. Before I didn't listen to him, I told him, cut it. Cut the crap. Cut it. Sorry to cut you off. It's not disrespect. Naye ekigambo people power okimanyi oba tokimanyi? But before you continue telling me bullshit and you work with people power, listen, I told him, people power kitegeeza amaanyi g'abantu. Kati kugamba ti wava ku people power kitegeeza nti amaanyi go wagisurrendering, wa giving up ng'omuntu. N'asirika. N'asalawo. He didn't continue. N'asalawo okusirika. Nagamba kintu kimu. Abo bantu bali awo nga bagamba people power people, bona banoonya ssente. Olaba babobbi baabwe bona. Their children are all abroad. You get it? Nemubuuza. Bob Wine's children, they're abroad doing chair. Namubuuza ekintu ekyo. Nemubuuza. Did you know that when Amin was the president of Uganda, teri muna Uganda yali akuba ekyeyo? Did you know that? I just asked him that. Did you know that there was no Ugandan whatsoever yali akuba ekyeyo? And he kept quiet. And I told him, I'm sorry to say this, but people like you, of my own, almost same age, I don't have to sit down and explain anything to you. I want you to think. Then one time, when you find yourself in a situation that you can't get yourself out, and then you will realize that whatever that I talked to you about in the past is actually true. I told him that one day, when you wake up to realize that all along that whatever Uganda really needed was the change. Whatever is it that Bobby Wine fought for was not selfish interest. He has every money. He has all that it takes. But he decided to stand to awaken us all. All along we have been asleep. Think about it. Think about it. You are at least 39 years old. That's equivalent to Museveni's own rule. Okay? We have a country being ruled by an old brain. We are younger generations. We need a young brain. We need new ideas. Not old people with old ideas. However, we do not say they did not do anything. The only thing that people get us wrong when we talk about, the failures of the NRM government, they equate it to us saying that the NRM did nothing. No, they didn't do nothing. But I want you to compare what Amin Dada did in 9 years, and I want you to try to compare it with what he did in 39 years, and then we sit down and reason. Okay? I want you to remove the thought that he is the guy with the vision to take. Okay, so what happens? You say he pakalas. So what happens when he dies? Okay? Tell me who has the brains to lead Uganda. Bobby Wine is an idea. A great idea. He has the idea of a new Uganda. He can never build it alone, even after being elected the president of Uganda. Bobi Wine alone cannot fix Uganda. Uganda is too broken to be fixed by him. He will need all of us. And this is why every Ugandan out in the diaspora is waiting for this moment. We are all praying hard and working so hard for this moment. That when he comes in as president, you will see a Uganda that is so powerful than ever. Because people are going to come and going to invest in their country for once. There are so many Ugandans out there who are stuck. They're stuck because they have their money, but it can't work in the old ideas that we have back home. Okay? We've seen people eat money, walk away, sign money, and put it in their pockets. Taxpayers' money. And that in the hospitals, there is no medicine, no nothing. People are dying in hospitals. Okay? And you still want me to sit down and reason with you. 39 years old, 40 years, you want me to reason with you? Nze nabivaako. Nze kasite nsinkana omuntu ngali almost same age group with me. I can't sit down to argue with you, to force you to think the way I think. No, I don't want you to think the way I think. Think the way you want to think, but make sure it's reasonable enough. Think the way you want to think, but don't be selfish. Let's try to be human enough. Think about it. Bobi Wine has whatever he takes. He's made money, lots of money. Even though he decided to realize that he's moving out of the country now, he could stay with his family out there for as long as he wishes. Because he has all the money that it takes. He could just keep quiet in Magere, continue with his businesses and focus on whatever he wants to focus on. You want to tell me he's so selfish enough to risk his own life? To risk his family's life? Because all know what politics in Africa looks like. When you join politics, it's like you pushed your whole family into it. Some serious mess. Do you know the trauma that his children undergo through? Every time their dad walks out, they just never know whether he's going to come back home alive. Do you guys know that? So before you start saying all these groups of people, they're just focused on making money, all this and that and that. Home 7 has done good things. You need to see, oh yeah, we see he has done good things. He has done great, in fact, but not where we want it to be. He has tried his best. It is time for him to just give it up all and allow us to put the leader that we want. He shouldn't force us. He shouldn't force us to have a leader that we don't want. To the Electoral Commission, please, you have every power to think as a Ugandan. To those who are not Ugandans, please, I repeat it again. I made it in my previous video and I'll say it again. If you're not a Ugandan, just get yourself out of these elections. Get yourselves as far as you can. Don't even think about carrying a gun walking to the streets of Kampala with your guns to intimidate the citizens. No. You're using the same old scripts. The house arrests are going to come back, the deployments into the streets, the intimidations into polling stations. People's doors will be kicked in the night in the villages. We know all these old scripts, but they are not going to work this time round. People are broken. That for once, you may support Museveni, but if you know what we're talking about is the truth, then you stand with the truth for once. For those close to him, tell him the truth right into his face. If he gets to fire you from your job, no problem. Just tell him the truth. If he believes you, then he will understand the truth. If he really says that he cried after watching news about what happened in Tanzania, if he really says that the wife bears him witness that he cried after watching the news, then you tell him he's leading us through the same direction. He's leading us through the same direction of the massacres of Tanzania. Because people are getting pissed off every day. Ekirowoozo ko.